Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. On the agenda tonight, we've been asked to take a look at some live performances by David Gilmour and compare those to the official release of those set of dates that happened during his tour last year. As always, the links to the videos that I'm going to be looking at are in the description below if you want to cross-reference anything. But with this particular video, this official release, David did 6 dates. So that was the 27th, the 28th, the 29th of September last year, 2024, and the 1st, 2nd and 3rd of October. So I've watched all 6 of these performances, and it's been really interesting to watch all of them to see how they piece together then the official video. It's clear that they've spent most of the time on the footage from the 3rd, so the final date of these particular shows, which makes absolute sense because it means that the band and David have warmed up, they've done the show 5 times previously, and now they're going to record it for the official release. So we'll see exactly what's been done to it. I have been asked to look at the vocal, but I'll point out some other things about it towards the end that I find really interesting as a guitarist myself. So let's jump into it. Official release has been panned right, and the October the 3rd performance has been panned left.
The sweet smell of a great sorrow lies over the land.
So, I mean, yeah, I've stopped it very quickly because already on the left-hand side, this E3 was slightly sharp, but we're exactly over the E3 in the official release. I let it play on.
Plumes of smoke rise, emerge into the leaden sky. A man lies and dreams, green fields and...
And, I mean, one thing that I will point out again here, slightly flat of the E3 for the most part, but here, absolutely over the E3, and maybe we do descend down a little bit. Now, I mean, what I want to say is that with David's voice, I don't think he has the kind of voice that pitch correction works with, because the way that he performs, and if you watch the live performance on the 3rd of October, videos in the description below, you can hear how it's not about pitch, really. He's holding the note of the melody, but it's not about being calibrated, because very much the sound of his voice and the sound of his compositions and the way that he expresses himself with his voice for his songs and through his songs is very much with that talking quality, telling a story and bringing the listener in to that sound of just somebody telling you a story who's not really that worried about pitch, because then it's more engaging. And for me, the official release does start to sound like it's too robotic. Let's just have a listen. It does sound like it's an android telling you a story rather than a person telling you a story that just happens to be maintaining a similar kind of pitch. So have a listen to the official release just by itself.
The smell of a great sorrow lies over the land.
Over the land. You know, it's spending too much time there. Blooms and absolutely perfect.
Smoke rise, emerge into the leaden sky. A man lies.
And that kind of thing, where the sky, it would be just a bit of a, I don't know, a throwaway line and a throwaway word without really worrying about pitch, but it's so exact.
And dreams, green fields and rivers,
but we still have a little bit of this talking quality left in.
to a morning
It's just when we hold notes.
with no reason for waking.
And there, that reason, you can kind of hear it working to keep it on that E3. And let me bring on, we'll just listen to the crowd shot footage.
Sweet smell of a great sorrow lies over.
It's straight away, yeah, we're between notes here, and you can hear it.
The land. Blooms and smoke rise, urging to the leaden sky. A man lies and dreams, green fields and rivers, but wakes till the morning with no reason for waking.
Yeah, and especially at the end, when I said about the end of the lines almost being throwaway, I'm going to try and, if I can, click on this to make it a little bit louder. But towards the end here, listen to the end of this line.
No reason for waiting.
No. It doesn't really matter where that note is because he's just telling the story. He's not really worrying about pitch of notes. As soon as you now change his voice into something that sounds like it's worried about notes, for me personally, of course it's all subjective, for me it loses something when you try and take David's voice and calibrate it to A440, because it most certainly isn't on A4. Well, nobody's voice is on A440 naturally, but he's got the voice, the kind of voice that I think suffers from being calibrated. You just want to let it loose and let him do his thing, but let his voice do its thing as well. Let's listen to the official release again.
He's haunted by the memory of a lost paradise. In his youth or a dream, he can't be precise. He's chained forever to a world that's departed.
Yeah, here. Well, you can hear G3. It was really working there. There's something weird that happened there.
He's chained forever.
It's almost like he interrupted his own voice, like it was... I'm going to listen to that on the live version.
Can't be precise. It's chained forever.
Okay, right. So here, on the live version, you can see how he actually starts down at the D sharp 3, which is down here. So he's a semitone off and then kind of ascends up to the E3. So this is why this sounds weird, because I think they might have taken this from another night and just slotted it in there. So that's why it sounds like he's interrupted himself, because they've literally interrupted the natural voice with a voice that happened on another night that was more accurate and stuck that in there. And they might have even pitch corrected this. But yeah, trying to pitch correct this down here, I think, yeah, it's not going to be possible to move this up to the E3 because it started so low, and this is a gradual ascension. And that's something that pitch correction auto-tune doesn't like. It likes finite values, so you need something that's close to a line so it can just be moved over that line. But this, there's way too much variation in it. So we'll listen to that again, the live version.
It is a youthful dream. Can't be precise. It's forever.
Yeah, you can hear that absolutely clear as day. Let's now listen to official.
He can't be precise. He's chained forever.
And I wonder, it might be so obvious, you can actually see on the pitch monitoring software how it kind of loses signal. There's no way that he's singing as C sharp 3 there, but this is the part at which that edit sounds so dodgy, because this first part, maybe they've tried to blend it with the second part, possibly. It's difficult to say, but other than it's really obvious that there's something that suddenly's changed at that point. Let's listen to the official again.
To a world that's departed.
And let's listen to why that, or see why that sounds so weird. Okay, right, so, I mean, he wasn't actually that far off, but then descends quite dramatically from the G3. So it's kind of trying to hold his voice as close to the G3 as it can. But again, I don't think his voice needs any of this at all. But let's listen to the official again.
This blood is frozen.
Okay, yeah, that sounded a bit weird. And now the live version.
This blood is frozen.
And that's why it sounds weird. It's because David's voice, it just goes where it goes, and it always has done. So he did exactly the same thing here that he did previously. He just ascends up to the E3, but like I said, auto-tune and pitch correction. This will be pitch correction that they've done for this video. It doesn't like slow ascensions like this. And just saying that, it's like saying pitch correction doesn't like a unique voice. It wants something that is finite, so that it goes to E3 perfectly according to A440 standard pitch equal temperament, and that's what it likes. So if there's anything that happens that's quite artistic like this, a slow ascension to an E3, it doesn't like that. We're going to put it, and these are conscious decisions that are made by producers. They decide the note is going to be on the E3. We're not going to allow David's voice to go up like it did on the night. So yeah, a bit of a shame. Let's listen to both of them. And you can see here how David does lock in to E3. He is locking in to the melody of the song, but he's got freedom in his voice as well. And again, this thing, again, for me, is a little bit overkill when we start looking at this and thinking, oh no, we've got to touch the G3 there. We can't leave it in between F#3 and G3. So basically, I mean, what we're getting here isn't the live vocal that David supplied. It's a post-edited, pitch-corrected vocal, that never happened. So when you're watching the live performance in an official capacity, you're hearing something that didn't happen. And that's, I don't know, for me, that's the sacrilege of it, that you don't get to experience the unique performance. You just get to experience a producer's take on that unique performance. And more often than not, they'll make it less unique by conforming it to everything else that's going on nowadays in 2025, or 2024 in this case.
Hands weakened, but the moment of truth, his step was faltered.
Okay, so, I mean, I'm going to just skip it forward to the end, but we kind of get the idea here.
Then he walks through the river of lost love and dedication.
Again, just tiny bits here, ever so slightly flat at the E3, and that's been stuck over the line.
Silent replies, with swell invitation, flow dark and trouble.
Of course, we've got harmonies here as well, or a harmony line, which is singing the octave above, which would be the E4. And again here, when I said that David locks into pitch, this is the octave below. Really accurate here. But they've still corrected that to be directly over the line of the F#3. So yeah, I mean, that is crazy. And technically here, he was ever so slightly below the G3 and then was right over it. And they've made it over the line for a little bit longer. But I guess, and here, E3 as well over the line and E3. I think it is getting to the point where producers are having to justify their pay. So people say, well, what have you done? It's, oh, well, look, I've moved this little line up to there, and I've moved this line just down to here. And you see this line here, I've moved that up to there. I mean, I would think somebody has got to say, especially if they're a David Gilmour fan, they've got to say, why? Why are you moving this that is already so accurate and has his unique vocal quality on there? Why are you doing this? And then, they'll say, well, it's the industry standard. Everyone's voice is now being calibrated to this graph so that uniqueness is not going to be present in the future, because we don't want people to be unique. We don't want unique artists. We want them all to be calibrated to this, so it doesn't matter what your singing ability or how unique your singing voice is, it'll be the same as everyone else's, which means we make exactly the same amount of money from everybody, regardless of their ability level, their natural talent, their engagement when they're singing. Through use of microtones, we're going to eradicate all of that. Anyway, let's listen on. And again here, moved up to the E3. Here, moved up to the E3. But he's really accurate anyway. Oh look, they left slightly sharper the G#3. They left something in. So at least that's one bit. Is my sight, and silence that speaks so much louder than words. If promises broken. And again here, this words, which is again a little bit throwaway here. It's just been moved ever so slightly up. And that's it. I mean, that's the end of the vocal section for the song. So, I mean, vocals wise, I don't know whether we should expect anything different. I guess I thought maybe David, with his artistry and the way that he sings, maybe they might have argued a case for leaving it as it was, but obviously that isn't the case, and they have pitch corrected his whole vocal for the official video. Something that I just want to have a quick listen to is the backing vocal, because I'll let this play through and then we can see what's going on. So we've got what is some quite obvious auto-tune on there. Now, whether that's been applied after the fact or it was being used live, I don't know. I feel like it might be more likely that it's a live thing, because we have got flips going on. I mean, clearly calibrated to A440 standard pitch, equal temperament. Yeah, here, clearly we have a flip. Let me see if we can hear it in slow motion. So is getting the semitone na in there. So I mean, the reason that I think this is more of a live thing, so that the backing vocals were auto-tuned, is because they've taken so much time with everything else, like replacing guitar parts that might not have, fitted the bill for the official release, and pitch correcting the lead vocal. I don't think that they would leave that in, that obvious auto-tune flip, unless it was just on the audio and they couldn't get rid of it. So something to end the video with guitar players, and having taught guitar for so many years myself, I know that players say when they're learning, oh, the professionals, they never mess up. And whenever I'm playing live, and I used to teach people that would play live, and they said, oh, I get to a particular section and I keep making mistakes, and whenever I see professionals playing or their favorite guitarists, they never make any mistakes. Now, the reason you don't see any mistakes or don't hear them is that in official videos they get cut out. And like I said, I've seen all 6 of these performances, and there's stuff all over the place. If you play the guitar, you can spot little mistakes and things that happen all the time. So I'm just going to feature a few things. I mean, to begin with, we're going to take a look at what actually happened when David gets into his solo from the crowd shot footage. So I am going to let this play through. So you can see already when we're going into the solo, I think we had a C there. It kind of sounds like it should have been a D. Yeah, but it should have been the D. So anyway, that's what happened on the night. But when we then get to the official video, and like I said, the majority of the footage has come from the third, which is just what we watched. So that C there that shouldn't have been in there. Let's have a listen to the official. Now cut to the drummer so that you can't see David's hand in the wrong place, and we hear the D that should have been in there. So that wasn't actually in there in the live performance. So yeah, people were learning to play. The mistakes get cut out so that you don't hear them. So, unfortunately, I think if I play like I just have done most of the song, I might get a block on this particular video. But I just want to listen to a bit more of the solo. And here, like that first, the bend. And he's kind of getting a pinched harmonic in there. But again, the first bend kind of wasn't quite there. Nah. And again, we've got kind of notes in here that shouldn't really be there. And now we're now at the point where, and this is the thing about great players, is they'll do bits here or there that are mistakes, but they cover them really well. They just get back into their playing and don't let it affect them. And the great thing is here that you've got David Gilmour, just a legendary player, but he's human as well. So if you are playing guitar, don't get too down on yourself if you make a few mistakes. Obviously, you want to eradicate them as much as possible with good technique and practicing, and also playing live so that you can do what you've been practicing in front of people. But don't worry if you make a mistake, because it's all, even David now playing one of his own compositions will have a little bit of a problem here or there, but it's just moving on with it and forgetting about it. And we're just going to look at another quick example, and this isn't having a go at David, anything like that. This is for guitar players, because I know that people get down on themselves when they make mistakes and they don't hear other guitarists making mistakes. But let's listen to this. So again, here, with the slide, and to be fair, he's kind of going, let me turn up my guitar. He's trying to get all the way up to 17th fret, the B string. And then kind of getting into the bend. But it's all about the recovery. Oh, actually. Yeah, right at the end there. Oh, it's disappeared. But we had this. So now, after bits that might have been even and kind of missing a pick here or there, coming back down and kind of resetting yourself back into your playing, and then you're fine from then on. So it's all about kind of riding these waves. Let me just play this. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is from... Oh yeah, that's from the third as well. So this was the night that the official video was shot, but we don't get to hear that, and you can look at the third. I haven't got it on screen, but I just played that little bit there because we had this, this hammer on with the second finger. That, I don't know whether you can see my guitar, but we're starting on the C and hammering on to that C sharp, D flat. But that's not something that you'd play in E minor. It's something that you play in A major, like that. So again, that's just something that it's a split second, and this stuff happens. But then, if I let it play on, he doesn't let it affect what he's doing. He knows that it's happened, but just gets back into the vocal. It is interesting to see how they have edited it, because let me just play this bit again with this hammer on. And it's clearly in there when we now go to the same part of the official release. And now you can see he's just moved up, and before David goes and does that, now we get a D chord with a little bit of vibrato or whammy bar in there, supplying that vibrato. So that little mistake again has been edited out of the final performance. Anyway, there we have it. Thank you guys for requesting this particular video for tonight. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Keep those requests coming to requests@wingsofpegasus.com. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Rock!